Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus special financing. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Let's do. Is Professor Dershowitz on?
Yes,
Let's go to Professor.
We've got the great Professor Alan Dershowitz, of course, Harvard Law School Professor Emeritus. We love you. Professor Dershowitz, first of all, your reaction about them trying to push out Sotomayor of the Supreme Court.
I know her. I've argued in front of her. I've sat with her at a baseball game. She's not going anywhere. She's going to stay on the court as long as her good health allows her to. The same thing is true with Alito and Thomas. You know, there are some people who want to have them resign so that younger people can be picked by Trump. I don't think you should be trying to manipulate the tenure of justices on the Supreme Court for partisan political purposes. Look, Trump's the president of the United States. I'm going to do everything in my power to help him have a good 4-year term. I'm going to offer him my advice. I hope he'll accept it on legal issues, on Israel. I got a very nice notice from people around him saying we welcome your advice and your input, and I'm going to continue to support him as I would any incumbent president of the United States. I want to see what's best for America. I want to see us, if possible, come together and see if we can, bridge the divides and go forward as a united country.
I agree. What did you make of the fact that Kamala Harris's spokesperson is suggesting maybe Biden step aside and put her in so she could be, quote, the first female American president, even if it's only a few weeks?
It would be the worst thing for women and the worst thing for blacks. It would be the worst thing. It would be, just a way of saying, oh, my God, we can't ever elect a real woman president. So let's manipulate the process to have her serve for a couple of weeks as the first woman. The first woman elected should be elected by the people overwhelmingly and legitimately. That would be the worst thing for the role of women. I think it's absurd.
Yeah, I agree.
Alan,
Judge Weinberg.
I want to ask you this question. Tomorrow there are motions before Judge Merchan in the criminal trial, the Alvin Bragg criminal trial, to dismiss the 34 convictions. That's number one. And 2 weeks later, there's supposed to be sentencing. What are your thoughts about how that's going to play out? What is Merchan's options, and what should he do?
Well, he has many options, and what he will do is what's the worst possible for Trump, consistent with saving his reputation. So he probably won't dismiss everything, but he'll probably either delay sentencing or say that he wouldn't give a sentence of confinement. Look, I think this conviction is going to be reversed on appeal. I can't imagine appellate courts upholding a conviction for a crime that I don't understand. I've been doing this 60 years, writing, teaching, litigating. I don't understand the crime. And so how do you sentence somebody on a crime that I wouldn't say the average person can't understand? One of the most experienced criminal lawyers in the country can't understand. How do you sentence somebody for a crime like that? So if he's going to do his duty, he should be dismissing this thing, but he should have dismissed it before it ever went to trial.
Exactly.
This is warfare at its worst.
As an angry American non-lawyer, what they did to the rule of law the last few years, and you heard it in my voice many, many times, I was outraged. And I was also outraged how a lot of big falutin judges that are lawyers, a lot of high lawyers.
Well,
you spoke out.
Where were the bar associations?
But where's the bar associations?
No,
where are the
associations
judges to say this is wrong?
The bar associations are very active. They're involved in trying to disbar people like me who defended Donald Trump. This is the 65 Project that is filing bar complaints in bar associations all over the country against lawyers who dared to represent Donald Trump, even if they did nothing wrong. in order to send a message.
That's a violation of ethics.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Is.
It might not be a violation of law. It's a violation of ethics.
Big time. Now, let me ask you, will it change now that Trump's in town? I mean, do you think people are going to is this a reckoning in the legal
sheriff,
or no?
There's a new sheriff.
Yeah, let's hope, right, that they realize that.
It's going to get worse. I think it's going to get worse. Look at Letitia James. She gets on television right after the election and says, I'm going after Trump. I'm going to get Trump. We're the state. We're not the federal government.
I know Letitia a long time, and I told her close people that it was wrong for her to do that.
And she's done, and everybody's going to do it. We're now going to see the only check and balance that people think you have on the Trump administration is now through the states, because you don't have it in Congress, you don't have it in the judiciary, federal judiciary. So I think there's going to be more warfare by more Braggs and more Letitia James and more California local prosecutors. I think we're going to see it's going to get worse unless something happens. And so, I would like to see some court cases brought against some of these judges and bar associations to make sure that they are checked and balanced and that they don't try to engage in the kind of McCarthyism that the 65
Alan, this is such an abuse of their official positions. It's disgraceful.
So let me ask you both attorney questions. Who can oversee them? Who can change? I mean, who can override the bar associations? I'm honestly asking two great attorneys.
Yeah, Congress. The first thing that should be done is there ought to be hearings in front of the Senate, in front of the House, about these bar associations. There ought to be a hearing about the 65 project. Every single one of them ought to be subpoenaed. We ought to find out who's paying their bills. We ought to find out who's behind them. We ought to find out what they're doing, who they're going after, because a lot of what they're doing quietly and in private. So I think the first thing that has to happen is Congress has to investigate the 65 project. And then I think Congress should be investigating Letitia James, should be investigating Bragg, should be looking at all these people who have been abusing the legal system in a horrible way, not on behalf of Donald Trump, on behalf of all Americans.
Alan Dershowitz, you speak for all Americans. Keep talking. May God give you 118 years because we need you around.
With an option to renew.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You deprived me of the 2 years that the Bible gives me, 120, but I'll take it.
All right, okay.
We love you. Thank you, Professor.
See, I'm only 6% Jewish. I don't understand that.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.